I am running against, perhaps in the history of presidential politics, the worst candidate. Obama wouldn't even endorse him. They ran together. They went together. Yes. And then even after he won, I didn't think Obama. It took so long, right? And now I heard what? We have a little problem. What? Obama's going to campaign for him. I say, well, that's good news. He campaigned harder than Hillary Clinton did for Hillary. And it just made us stronger. Obama's going to campaign for him. I say, well, that's good news. He campaigned harder than Hillary Clinton did for Hillary. Campaigned harder than Hillary Clinton did for Hillary. It's going to campaign for him. I say, well, that's good news. He campaigned harder than Hillary Clinton did for Hillary. And it just made us stronger. I want him to campaign so much. I want him to campaign, because we're going to do even better. But it is true. By issuing Joe Biden a tremendous defeat at the ballot box. But it's not Joe Biden. Remember this. It's a radical left sick ideology. Okay. An amazing poll just came out. 56% of the American people, Gallup poll, right, say that they're better off today than they were 4 years ago under the Obama-Biden administration. That's a record. That's a record. And think of what we're saying. And by the way, that's a record. 56% of the people. And that's during, and we're rounding the corner. We got the vaccines, all that, but even without it, we're rounding the corner. You'll see it. We're rounding
it's Conte reporting.
And we have unbelievable. The vaccines are unbelievable.
What a great time to be alive. What a great time to be alive. What an election. Holy smoke. Wow. You can get depressed about this shit. You can get depressed about this shit. Or you can have the time of your life. You can kick back and enjoy what's going on and say, man, everybody's a liar, everybody's a cheater. What the fuck is going on, man? Shit is crazy, man. Crazy times. Crazy times in America. Man. What an election. We're going to get into it. Marcus Conte reporting. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Rise and shine. New York City. 65 weather. The weather. Marcus Conte weather. It's raining in New York. Partly cloudy in New Jersey. It's actually not raining. It's actually quite beautiful. It's cloudy. I like cloudy days. Everybody thinks like, oh, the weather has to be perfect. No. I'll take 60 and cloudy, and you have to know what to do with that. You go on the beach. You run on the beach. You sweat. You got to break a sweat when it's 60, 62. You gotta exercise, and you start to feel the union with nature. Start to come out. You start to heal. I don't even know what I'm talking about, man. So some crazy stories today. We'll talk. The big debate is tonight. I think that's the big story. Obama. We'll talk about that. The debate. How exactly they're going to use the freeze button on Trump. They got it planned. They got a freeze button. They're going to be muting people. I'll tell you how they're going to do it. And Obama's out on the trail. I watched it by accident last night. I was just sitting around watching it, and there goes Obama live to a parking lot of beeping horns. Right, talking about his man Joe, how Joe is king and Trump is shit. But Obama made a tactical error. I don't think anybody else caught it. I don't see any mainstream media reporting on it. But he talked about how Trump has a secret bank account in China. Secret bank account. What is he talking about? He doesn't even know what he's talking about. But with Obama, everything is platitude. It's big talk, no action. It's how great America and how we struggle and how we come together and how we need to vote. That's Obama's shit. Meanwhile, he's one of the most corrupt, guys in the world. He fucking single-handedly stuck a knife in Bernie Sanders' back to elevate Hillary Clinton using every power at his disposal, for example. And and now he's out there lying, straight out lying about what we now know about Joe Biden and his Burisma stuff and his dealings with China, and the fact that they're They're all working for the same team. They all play on the same team. Get elected, enrich yourself, make a lot of money. Trump is no exception to that. They all do it. They all do it. Oh, every senator, Mitch McConnell, why are they all worth $100 million? Why is Nancy Pelosi worth $100 million? Why is Barack Obama worth $40 million or $50 million? Meanwhile, he's saying, oh, the working guy. Yeah, it's for the working guy. So look at that. Look at what could be Obama's big lie. A lot rolling in. Rudy Giuliani on the tear. Oh, my God. Fucking Rudy saying that there's child pornography on Hunter Biden's laptop. Wow. Just wow. So what else? CDC, we talk about as scheduled, Iran and Russia are trying to interfere with the election. That's the Pentagon putting out the B story, just in case we get caught. Just in case we get caught cheating, we got to blame somebody. So now, if and when, well, if they get caught, but they will cheat. When they cheat, and if they get caught, it looks like Iran, Russia, again, will be found to be interfering in U.S. elections, says intelligence community. Which is, again, just a bullshit fucking story. CDC refining its close contact guidelines. Close contact guidelines. Remember the day I was on the train and I was packed in there like sardines? So we're going to look at we'll compare those two stories. We'll compare those two. But for right now, don't go anywhere and go to marcusconte.com. And this is how I survive. This is how we make it happen. This is how we inform the world of the truth, by having a website and a video series on a daily basis. Get up, do your video, Conte. There's some days that I don't want to do a video, but I do it anyway. Even when I'm down. Even when I'm down, I get up and I do my thing. I got to keep professing the truth, right? Keep talking, right? Just keep talking about it, right? Because the more you talk, the more you engage the current affairs. I guess that's what this is, right? It's current events. I'm like a current events channel. I talk about current events. Is that you absorb those events. You absorb those events, and then you formulate a hypothesis. You formulate an idea, a vision for the world, a world view that is well informed based on the fake news that you read, or lack thereof fake news. Right? That's what you do, right? It's daily vigilance, right? That's all this is, and you help. You're part of this by contributing dollars and cents, by sharing these videos, by sending tips through the link down below. So, well, Short Happy Life, whatever. Anyway, if you go to the website, if you go here, you'll find how to feed me info, and also in the chat, right? And not so much in the chat, but in the comments. If you drop links, I scan those all the time. So let's go here for a moment. For one moment, let people get in the room. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Marcus Conte reporting. So this is kind of interesting. You thought the moon was a dead planet, right? Dead, right? It's fucking dead, right? There's no atmosphere. It's cold. It's just like, but it's useful. They're going to use the moon to blast off to Mars because there's no atmosphere, right? So if you blast off from Earth, you need a truckload of gas to get out away from the gravitational pull. But if you're on the moon, it's very easy. You can almost like, the action of jumping. If you jumped, you would continue into space at that speed until something else hit you. Right? And so if you can blast a rocket off of the moon at 5,000 or 6,000 miles an hour, it would cruise its way. Once it hit maximum speed, it would cruise its way all the way to Mars at about that same speed. That's one of the things that they're looking to do. But in this article, can you hear me now? Nokia set to build a cellular phone network on the moon. Ooh, is that for us? Does that mean that our phone calls go through the moon and using that 5G to spray it down on us, to spray it back down to Earth? No, actually it doesn't. It means that they're They're building a network on the moon so that when they go to the moon and hang out on the moon, they have this telecommunication thing going on the moon for a select crew of astronauts, people that can get there. So it's rather interesting. Today, in things our government is preoccupied with, while a second economic stimulus check remains unfinished. That has nothing to do with the story. Why did you put it there? NASA has tapped Finland's Nokia to build the first ever cellular network on the moon. The network is going to be part of NASA's plan to return humans to the moon by 2024. Oh, great! So a handful of guys, a handful of astronauts on the moon get to have cellular service. What kind of service are we doing to men by having cellular service on the moon when it takes like $8 million to get somebody there, and you got to have the right suit or you can't go. You got to have the right clothes or you can't go to the moon. What are they doing? Why are they doing this? The network is also part of a plan to build long-term settlements. On the moon after returning. It's like a billionaire hangout. Have you ever been to the moon? I could see them now sitting around the cocktail table like this. Chadwick, have you ever been to the moon? Excuse me, ma'am. Have you ever been to the moon? I just got back from our trip to the moon. It was fascinating. It was just fascinating. They had cell service and everything. Imagine that shit, man. That's going to be the new talk. While you fucking rot on Earth, while the planet implodes, the billionaires are going to be fucking with the pinky ring, with the pinky up, hanging out on the moon. That'd be cool, man. At least once. The network is also part of a plan for long-term settlements on the moon. Nokia says the network will be built on the lunar surface in 2022. Before humans even return. The goal is to have a lunar base built by 2028 and eventually sustain a human presence on the moon. According to CNN, NASA has awarded over $370 million to a dozen companies to try putting the interface necessary in place. I could see this happening. I get it now. I get it. Now that I read it, I get it. It's going to be a hotel moon. Hotel on the moon. Get people up. Billionaire fucking hotel, right? Get the Saudis to do it. They'll have they'll build like swimming pools outside where you can be swimming on the moon in a plastic bubble, in a moon bubble. I bet that's what it is, man. I hope I live to see it. Right? I hope I live another 10 years. Right? Who knows, man? COVID might wipe me out. I'm on the train every day, right? Fucking gonna die from COVID. So that's a fairly interesting story we'll follow. Right? So I put in a headline that the Pope is gay, but I don't think he's gay. I think he's just becoming gay sympathetic. He's being sympathetic to the gay. He's allowing gay. He's allowing the gays in, says the Pope. So Pope Francis, who is a wonderful man, is very, very it really speaks to the people. Calls for civil union laws for same-sex couples. Well, that's a big step. That's a giant leap forward for the Catholic Church. That's like, because they hate gays. They were gay bashing, and it's God hates gays and homos and wrong hole, and all that shit, right? Wrong hole, wrong effort, wrong direction, other hole. So that's been the and then the pedophiles, the priests become priests because they're homosexual and they don't like themselves, or they like little children, they like altar boys. Right? It's just a crazy culture of deviance within the Catholic Church. So I think this is a move in the right direction. Pope Francis has spoken up in defense of homosexual families and called for civil union laws for same-sex couples, a major shift from both his own and the Vatican's position on the matter. Yeah, it really is. It's a massive shift in consciousness right there. Homosexuals have a right to be part of the family. They are children of God and have a right to a family, the pontiff says in a new documentary, Francesco, I gotta watch that. Nobody should be thrown out or be made miserable because of it, the Pope reportedly says in the documentary, which premiered Wednesday at the Rome Film Festival. Woo-wee. So where Trump is using Twitter, the Pope is a documentary star. He's a documentary guy. I got to see that shit, man. It's fucking crazy, right? The documentary also includes a story of the pontiff encouraging two Italian men in a same-sex relationship to raise their child in the parish church. Pope Francis, maybe he is gay. Maybe he's probably never had, because he's been a priest his whole life, unless he had a little action before he became a priest, and maybe in his teen years. Who even knows what sex he is, what sexual preference he is? Maybe he is a homo. Maybe he's bisexual. Maybe he likes men and boys. We don't know. We don't know because they don't say. Right? They're not man enough to say. They're not man enough to say, I like men. I am a man's man. I'm the man, right? They don't have the balls to say that shit. Right? Be who you are, right? If you like women, you like women. If you like men, you like men. You like boys, you like, that's fucked up, man. But speak out so we can round you up. Right? Get you in the right place, right? Get you around your own people, right? And fucking in a jail cell. Right? So anyway, so that's kind of cool, right? I think that's cool. I think that's I don't see. I'm not. For me, discrimination. To bash gays and not allow gays to be married and to hold them as second-class citizens in the world is discrimination. It's the definition of it. These people over here, because one has a dick and one has a pussy, they can get married, right? Because we say so, and they could live harmoniously and happily ever after. Because we say so, because we say so, and you're gonna fucking do it, or we're gonna tell you can't do it. As opposed to someone with a dick and a dick, a pair of dicks or a pair of pussies, right? They can't be in a happy union. Says who? Says what? So it doesn't. It's discrimination, right? So I'm for that. Whether your ethics don't allow you to, or your religion says, oh, it's against God, fucking God hates homos. Well, that's on you. Right? That's. I don't have those issues. I don't suffer from that. I don't suffer from that illness. That dilemma. So there's more. Wait, there's more. So human rights watchdogs say government using pandemic to crack down on online dissent. Oh, you think? Really? Right? Of course they are. They're fucking choking us, man. They're choking us out, right? Using the pandemic. Oh, you can't. You say pandemic. You say COVID's fake. You say this, that, the other thing, and they chop you down, right? They use the pandemic nonsense. They can't say, oh, you don't have a mask on, we're going to shut you down. They say, oh, you said something that's not on the official narrative. How much more evidence do you need? They just shut down fucking 25 QAnon people, I got locked out for a week for having a conversation in the park with some guy who believed that it was all made up. You can't even have the conversation. It's fucked up. It's really messed up. Governments around the world are using the ongoing pandemic to crack down on online dissent. Comply. According to a human rights watchdog. Let's see who it is. Washington-based Freedom House said dozens of countries have cited COVID coronavirus as a means to justify expanded surveillance powers and the deployment of new technologies that were once seen as too invasive. They added that it marks the 10th consecutive annual decline in internet freedom, reported by Barron's. Barron's is rather respectable. If you're a hack, if you're a Wall Street guy, I'm choking to death. That means I got the bug, man. You're not allowed to cough in public anymore, but you can cough online, right? And then everybody can spread the rumor. I'll give you what you need. You can go now some hacks. You can sew that together. I'll give you another. You could take that now and you could cut it together and say Conte's choking his brains out because he's got the COVID. Meanwhile, he's just choking on his own phlegm. The expansion of technology systems is enabling governments social control, according to the report. The pandemic is accelerating society's reliance on digital technologies at a time when the internet is becoming less and less free, says Michael Abramowitz. Without adequate safeguards for privacy and the rule of law, these technologies can be easily repurposed for political repression. Yeah, we saw it yesterday, right? We saw it yesterday with Ted Cruz grilling that guy on the Senate floor about how Google, Facebook, and Twitter have the ability to sway 15 million votes in the blink of an eye for free because they already have the platform. So what's so surprising about that? Right? It's fucking clear. So whatever we got here. Freedom House said that an estimated 3.8 million people using the internet, just 20% live in countries with free internet, 32% in countries with partially free, and 35% where online activities are not free. I believe they're talking about free speech, but where you show me the 20% where it's free. Because don't say the United States has free internet. Right. I guess it's, wait. It might be free in terms of paying. All right, because we're certainly not free. You got to pay fucking $100 a month for that shit. Originally, initially, it's $35. Oh, come on in, $35. The weather's wonderful. The water's warm. Jump in, $35 a month. And then they jack it up after the first year. They jack that shit up to like $90 or $100 for the same service. They're fucking robbing us, right? That shit should be free, right? Internet should be free, right? It should be. Why should we? I don't know. I mean, people will say, "Oh, you want everything free stuff." But it's become a necessity. It's not like it's walking out the door to the public square, walking out into the public square and discussing things with your fellow citizens is something that is technically free. But the new public square is clearly online. We are engaging the public square as we speak, and why should people, especially poor people, have to pay for that? And rich people, because the rich people don't give a fuck. You could charge a rich guy, $1,000 a month, and they're gonna just pay it. They're not gonna blink, and they would actually like it because it would get rid of people like you. Right. So keep raising the price and weed out the little people. Right? How many poor people? I see homeless people all the time. They don't have a phone. The libraries were closed for months, so they don't have access to the internet. They don't have access to the public square. They don't even know what's going on in the world. Right? So make it free. But anyway, so great. A watchdog organization found that the pandemic is being used to silence people online. What else is new? They used 9/11. They'll use anything to shut you up, man. Just shut up. Go away, man. So this is spectacular, ridiculous, just gaslighting propaganda, right? when you look at the facts. CDC refines close contact guidelines with COVID-positive people. Now, what does that mean to be COVID positive? Who knows? Because people could be walking around with it. They don't know. The symptoms are so mild. No one's going to go run to the doctor if they don't feel good for one day, or go to the hospital. It's just going to be like, yeah, it passed. Right? But so the idea that millions of people are walking around with this supremely deadly disease that seems to only kill people in hospitals and kills people that are on high doses of toxic medications, and we still can't find the bodies, and that there's millions of cases and low amounts of death, all that stuff, right? That's what we're talking about here, right? But the Center for Disease Control, who has been historically wrong the whole fucking time, and prevention, has expanded its coronavirus guidance on what it means to be close contact. What is close contact, right? What is we know what we need them. We need the CDC to define what close contact is. Close contact. It's like when my tongue is in your when my lips are on your lips. That's close contact or touchy when we give a man hug or a sensual hug or a pat on the back. What is what is close contact? We're not allowed to have close contact. Stay away from each other because you're ill, right? You're going to get the other guy ill, right? So let's find out. In a move likely to impact schools, job sites, and group settings. Group settings. Group settings. Those religious settings where everybody comes together. Oh, those meetings that they used to have, and with the those meetings that are down in the basement in the churches. Oh man, you got to get those people out of there, man. They're talking, man. Those people are talking about truth. They're saving themselves, right? And people in the poos of the, they're saving themselves. You got to stop that shit, man. You got to cut that shit out, man. Those group gatherings, right? Someone who has, a move likely to shut down those group gatherings. The health agency updates its previous guidelines that said people are at higher risk of catching the deadly virus if they remain within 6 feet of an infected person for at least 15 minutes. 6 feet, infected person, more than 15 minutes. Those are the new guidelines. So how do we know that someone has your stupid virus? We don't know. Because I'll be honest, walking around the very, very busy streets of New York City, 4 months, all the way from the beginning in February and March, daily, without a mask, walking up to people, talking to people. That's me doing this for months and months. I have never, in my memory, had someone cough close to me. Every once in a while, you'll hear somebody on the train or something. But I have not seen anybody. Clearing your throat is one thing. Like I'm clearing my throat because I'm talking for 2 hours. And sometimes you gag. Sometimes whatever you ate before, and you choke. That's called clearing your throat. That's not illness. How many people have I encountered that I thought was sick? And not just like a drug addict, strung out on the street. That's different. How many people that I think that I encountered in all my travels in New York and elsewhere have I believed in my heart that person is sick, I need to get away from them? And the answer is 0. I cannot remember being in close proximity with people where I said, this guy's probably sick. I think I should take a step back. It just hasn't. People are either not sick or they're being very, very obedient and staying home. So, but the other thing is the lie that there's that this thing is so contagious. What am I trying to say? The thing is so contagious that it's asymptomatic. Oh, there's no symptoms, but you can still pass it. You could still pass me the ball, but you don't have the ball. It's ridiculous, right? We know that to not be true. Right? Asymptomatic transmission is very, very rare. But let's read a little more. The definition of close contact suggests that people are more vulnerable if they are within 6 feet of someone who tested positive for a cumulative total of 15 minutes. or more over a 24-hour period. They're just moving the goddamn goalpost, man. Moving that shit. So what I'm getting up to is, you saw my video. I'm going to play it in a second, of me on the bus, on the city bus, packed in like sardines, packed in on top of each other. Get in the fucking bus. You want to go somewhere? Get in the bus. You can't go anywhere unless you get on that crowded bus. Now, what are they going to... You see them shutting down the buses? You see them running more buses? No, they don't fucking care because it's a bullshit story. All the city buses are packed. You see them go by and people are fucking strap hanging, holding on to each other. Trains are crowded too. During the rush hours, trains are crowded. You're standing, face to face with people, elbow to elbow with people. Maybe, 70 or 80 people per train, 60, 70. I don't know how many people fit on a train, but a lot. Every seat is taken and you're packed in there, right? So are they going to shut down the subways? CDC says 15. You're never on the train less than 15 minutes. You're always within 6 feet of somebody. And you have no idea if someone tests positive for COVID. Nobody knows. Nobody knows if someone has the thing or not. So based on your own criteria, CDC, you're saying shut down the New York City subway system and the bus system and all transportation and all airlines and all buses and all forms of mass transit and all. Well, you can't really, all parks, people hanging out in the park, right? Again, the criteria they're using is 15 minutes. So passing on the street doesn't qualify. So anyway, so the tweaked guidelines come on the heels of a report published Wednesday by the CDC and health officials in Vermont, based on the experience of a prison employee who tested positive for the global pandemic after having 22 interactions with infected prisoners during an 8-hour shift, So they're using a prison scenario. That's what the CDC is leaning on, rather than do this. Here's my experience on the bus. Right now, I told you, I don't know how many people are on this bus, but you're welcome to try to count them. It's probably 25 in the back and another 25, maybe 50 people cruising down the street, packed, hands all over the bars, germs spreading like mofos. Let's find out. So the CDC is going to shut this down, right? There it is. There's the bus. Just traveling down the motherfucking street. People all over each other. Yeah. They're wearing masks. Windows closed. One window's open up there. There's a window open. All the other windows are sealed. So we're relying on. Now, is this worse than a prison? I don't know. I don't even think people in a prison get this close to it. Packed. You want to get where you got to go, get on the fucking train. So this flies directly of what the CDC is now recommending. So let's go back. Right? 15 minutes or more. What's the guideline? Where is it? Close. Higher risk of catching the deadly virus if you remain within 6 feet of an infected person for at least 15 minutes. So what's the probability? What's the probability of having one person on this bus infected based on the statistics, right? Based on their statistics, not my statistics. Me, I don't give a flying rat's ass. I think it's stupid. But on their own criteria, the people that are shutting places down, what's the potential in New York City, the epicenter of coronavirus, where everybody is just so fucked up and sick? What's the chances of one? Oh, look, there's a Chinese and they got it. This Chinese is from Wuhan. Oh, there's another. This is a black. They get more. They've been hit harder. So you got a black and a Chinese. That means that the shit goes. The possibility of getting COVID goes up. That's what they tell you, right? They're telling you that nonsense. And so what's the potential of having one COVID-19 person on here? Clearly more than 15 minutes. You're not on the bus. I was on the bus for a fucking half an hour, packed in there trying to get to where I got to go, and no one is 6 feet away. It's impossible. And this guy has his hand on the other ones. They're touching each other. They're touching the pole. So I'll leave it there. Blow that shit. That's exclusive reporting. Marcus Conte reporting. Exclusive, man. Exclusive. Oh, we got somebody new. Octopus, the friendly ocean organism. Love it, man. Love that title, man. I fell in love with octopuses after I watched the movie Octopus, My Teacher. Oh, man. What a great movie, man. You must see it. Man. So right on time, on schedule, I ran. Hold on a second. Are we still live? Can you hear me? I don't fucking know when we're going to get yanked. Right? At some point, right? At some point, we're gonna separate. I know, because the election's only 10 days away. You can't have people talking about this shit, man. You just can't have it, man. We understand, the Constitution and the right to free speech and freedom of the press. We get it, right? I know. We see the paper. We got the paper. It's over there, but we're elected politicians, and we can't have this. We can't have this dissonance. We can't have this dissenting voice. You just got to shut the hell up, man. You got to just go away. Just go away. Shut down for a while. Just shut up. All right? Be like Joe Rogan. You saw Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, his buddy's got the bug, and they shut him down for a week. Joe Rogan, shut the fuck up, right? That's what they told Joe Rogan. And he came up with a story, right? Right? Oh, yeah, my buddy's got it. My buddy's got COVID, and he was sitting in the cell next to me. He was sitting in the room next to me, and he's got it, so I got to shut down everything for a week to start. So on schedule, Iran, Russia trying to interfere in U.S. election. So this is the scapegoat. This is the B plan. If the intelligence community, if and when they get caught cheating, they will say, "Oh, see, it's Russia and Iran." And let's find out how they're going to do this. The story comes back every year. Every year, we're going to live with this story forever and ever. Iran. Oh, they're such a threat. Oh, fucking such a threat on social media. God damn. I get inundated with emails from Iran and Russia. My Facebook box is packed with emails from Iran and Russia. So fucking dumb. I'm so easily manipulated. I'm so easily gaslit that Russia and Iran can send me a bogus email and I can't tell the difference. That's so stupid. So stupid, man. Intelligence communities are the opposite of intelligence. They're fucking stupid because they think people believe that, and they're actually right. Sadly, if you tell a lie, make it a big lie. The bigger the lie, the more people you'll hit with the lie, and half the people that listen to the lie will believe it. And that's like Hitler used that, and certainly our CIA uses it. You tell a big lie. You tell a lie to change the narrative. Big lie, big. Make it a big lie. Nobody will believe it. No, half the people will believe it, because if you tell just a little fib, then you don't get the audience. You don't get the big audience. What the big audience? Tell a big lie. Tell a big lie. Donald Trump has a secret account in China, as Obama just did. We're going to see, and then what happens is half the people will believe it, and half the people will just see Obama as the liar that he is. That he's doing the tell the big lie thing. Right? So this is the big lie. This is the big election lie. Russia, Iran. It's not anybody but the dirty Democrats that are flipping votes and putting out ballots with holes in them so they could see who people are voting for, canceling the election polls, not counting millions of ballots stuffed away in warehouses. That's who's cheating. Right? It's not fucking Iran. It's not Russia. It's the Democrats. It's the Republicans. It's your own people doing it, the elected officials. How much more obvious does it have to be, right? So, Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe and FBI Director Chris Wray said in a press conference that Iran has targeted voters through spoof emails. Show me a spoof email. Show it to me. Show me the email. Show me the email that someone got, and let me see. Let us determine if it's credible. If it's something that doesn't pass the laugh test. That passes the laugh test. Right? It's laughable. This is laughable. Radcliffe added that some voter registration information has been obtained by both countries. So what? It's some voter registration information. Look, it doesn't fucking matter. That's irrelevant. Irrelevant, right? This data can be used by foreign actors to attempt to communicate false information to registered voters that will cause confusion, sow chaos, and undermine our confidence in American democracy. There is no confidence in American democracy. More than half the country thinks it's a sham and a ripoff. Right? The other half kind of knows it but won't admit it. And the whole world outside of our borders thinks that we're scavengers and thinks that we're a fucking military might that might overthrow them next. Right? There's no more. That the people are separate from the government, that the government has been hijacked by big business. That's how the world sees us. Right? Almost like the American people are kind of prisoners and kind of going along for the ride, right? That's how the world sees us. It's very violent, very, disinformation, can't be trusted for the most part. Radcliffe added that some voter registration information has been obtained by both countries. Doesn't matter. This data can be used by foreign actors to attempt to communicate false information. I already read that. The Washington Post, the fake... But probably the worst of the worst. The Washington Post reported Wednesday that Iran agents had sent threatening emails. Let me see this. Give me this fucking thing, man. U.S. government. There's a Washington Post report, and watch. It's not going to let me view it because I'm not a member. Watch. You're only going to get a second. You're only going to get a second before it disappears. Watch. U.S. government concludes Iran was behind threatening emails sent to Democrats, posing as Proud Boys. U.S. officials on Wednesday night, this is from October 22nd, this is today. This morning, U.S. officials on Wednesday night accused Iran of targeting American voters with fake but menacing emails. That's the CIA doing that. That's not fucking Iran, right? And how many? How many emails? Who got the email? Did you get an email? Raise your hand if you got an email from Iran sowing chaos. Warned that both Iran and Russia had obtained, this is a direct flow of propaganda from the CIA. That's who Washington Post is. Obtained voter data that could be used to endanger the upcoming election. Oh, yes, people are so vulnerable. They just, oh my God, someone sent me an email. They said they said Trump is bad. They said Trump is the orange monster. Oh, Proud Boys, they threatened me. They said they're going to get me. The disclosure by Director of National Intelligence, Radcliffe, at a hastily called news conference marked the first time this election cycle that a foreign adversary has been accused of targeting specific voters in a bid to undermine democratic confidence. Just 4 years after Russian online operations marred the 2016 presidential vote. Russia had nothing to do with anything. And that was the Democrats cheating Bernie Sanders, getting caught, then blaming Trump. The whole fucking thing was a fake, the Russian collusion thing. Conspiracy theory concocted in the bowels of the Clinton campaign, March, April, May 2016. Fake shit, fake emails. WikiLeaks exposing the whole thing. WikiLeaks. Remember WikiLeaks? Poor Julian Assange sitting in the can right now. Julian Assange should be out with us right now, talking about this shit. Right? Should be telling us the truth. So anyway, so here we go again. Here we go again. The intelligence community is informing us through the Washington Post paid hacks that Russia and Iran are up to their old tricks. They want to send you spoof emails. They want to spoof you, and you're gonna take that bait because you're stupid and you're ignorant and you can't make up your own mind because we've gaslighted you so much that you don't even know what a spoofed email looks like. You can't even tell. You can't just not read it. You can't just ignore. Right? That's the other thing. Right? When people don't want to see something, just ignore it. Especially on Facebook. You go on Facebook and you see all these stupid, just stupidity. One stupid post after another. You just fucking delete it. Or don't read it. Just skim over it. Or just say, that's stupid. People can't do that anymore. Right? According to the intelligence agencies, the election is so vulnerable because people are so fucking stupid that they can't they can't decipher, right? Because this is a front story. This is a cover story for the cheating that's going to go on, because once something swings the other way, swings the way that they don't want it to swing towards Trump, they're going to create this. Russia's going to have done something so terrible, and Iran. So it's just bullshit stories, right? The Iran agents threatened voters that they were in possession of all their information and demanded they change their party affiliation and vote for Trump. You will vote for Trump on election day, or we will come after you, the email reads. I got a collection of probably, I don't know, 200, 300 threatening emails. I keep them all together. I got a LARPA video. All these jerk-offs for years have I'm going to sue you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to come to your house and fucking kill you and fucking get your mother and your kids and go after you. They're all assholes. For years, people have been doing that, right? And that's just the price of being popular. When you're popular, you get psychotic, schizophrenic stalkers. You get people that stalk you and they think that they know you, right? So, but that's part of it, and that's a very extreme case because it's very, very focused. Some of these psychopaths will spend all of their time focusing on you and why I'm gonna own you, and you will obey or we will fucking get you, man. We'll bring you into court and we'll waste all your fucking time and money. That kind of shit, right? But here we're just saying, right? That's the extreme, right? But and all you got to do is just ignore it and laugh at it and fucking countersue and all that shit, right? Just leave them, get the fuck off my back, right? But here we're saying, and if you want to follow those stories, go to marcusconte.com and you'll see the LARP attacks. But the point is that I have so many emails, so many incriminating emails that incriminate so many assholes in the world for threats and mostly extortion. That's really what it qualifies as. It's an extortion ring where they make trouble. We're going to make trouble for you, and if you don't do what we tell you to do, then we're going to get you. And they never tell you how. And they just keep smearing you. I'm going to keep smearing you. You want us to stop keep smearing you? Then vote for Trump. It's just ridiculous, right? That's welcome to the real world. Right? That's how people are. Right? People are so down on themselves that they believe that they can make a market in your dissatisfaction, or something like that. So again, Iran is distributing other content to include a video that implies individuals could cast fraudulent ballots even overseas. This video and any claims about such alleged fraudulent ballots are not true. So there you go, right? So this guy, who is this guy? This is Radcliffe? So there you go. We'll see. So far, it's just Russia and Iran, and we'll have they'll probably come up with a new person to blame, a new country to blame. So tonight is the debate, the master debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. The president of the United States will take on his opponent, Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe Biden. We'll see what kind of condition Joe Biden shows up in. Is he going to show up half asleep as Sleepy Joe? Is he going to be senile tonight? Because sometimes you can't predict that shit. Sometimes he's just having a bad night, right? Has he been sleeping for 3 days in an oxygen tent and being pumped with performance-enhancing medications, as Trump has said? Probably. How's he gonna? Because when you see him out on the trail, he's a disaster. Biden. He's sleepy. He can't read. He's tired. He clearly doesn't believe what he's saying. And all of a sudden on the debate stage, he's going to come alive. So tonight at 9 p.m. in Nashville, Tennessee, the great debate between Trump, the master debater, and Joe Biden, the shit sandwich. But there's new rules. The mute button. First time in political presidential history, a mute button, mute the president button will be installed by somebody and used by somebody. We don't know who the somebody is, but they set the ground rules for how the cut switch, the button that cuts off the people, will be used. Let's find out. He's trailing. So this is CNN reporting, and of course it's anti-Trump. Time is running out on the president. Is it really? He is trailing Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden in most of the national and battleground state polls. Yeah, fake polls, and according to you. So create the fake poll, and then you manufacture the consent to come out and say that Trump is down and Biden's up. That's all that is. Because it didn't work out the last time. Every single pollster got it wrong. Every single pollster, with the exception of maybe one, and a couple of online people said, I wasn't around at that time, so I'm new. I was doing my own thing. I was doing something totally different. So I wasn't around to make that prediction. But this year I am making the prediction. I think Trump will win. I think Trump is the clear favorite. He has the enthusiasm. He has the heart and soul of the country, the center of the country. People know that we're fucked and they just like him. They'll just vote for him because they like him. They'll vote for Trump because they just hate the fucking Democrats. They hate the cheating and the lying and the corruption. Not that the Republicans are any different, but most people that vote for Trump don't feel like they're voting for the Republicans. They feel like they're voting for Trump, the party, like the Trump is the independent party. A lot of people feel that way. I'll vote for Trump. Yeah, he's independent. He's really, whatever. So that's CNN framing the discussion that Trump is down. After an initial matchup that quickly descended into a glorified shouting match, with Trump repeatedly interrupting Biden and running roughshod over the moderator, the second debate scheduled for last week was canceled after the president tested positive for coronavirus and refused to take part in a virtual affair. This time, the Commission on Presidential Debates, I guess, who fucking says, who gets to say? Who is the Commission on Presidential Debates? It's the Democratic Party. Has given the green light to an in-person face-off. That's tonight. But with one unprecedented change. Unprecedented change. At least CNN can report it. The candidates will have their microphones cut off while their opponents respond to the first question of each of the debate's 6 segments. So I understand how that's going to work, right? So this question is for you, Mr. Biden, and then Trump's mic is cut off. The commentator will allegedly, according to this, read the question to Joe Biden, and Trump can't say anything. Now, is Trump going to walk over to Biden's mic? Is he going to shout over? He could. But his microphone will be off until the question is read and until the opponent has the chance to respond. The topics, respond to the first question of each of the 6 debates, right? So the topic slated for discussion over the 90-minute uninterrupted minutes, 90 uninterrupted minutes, okay? It's beginning at 9 p.m., so no commercials. That's great. No walk off the stage, no cheating, no getting coached, get a back rub, get another shot of adrenaline for Biden, right? No commercials, no walking off the stage, no pissy. If you want to drink water, hold your water. Begins at 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's my time. Include. These are the topics: fighting for COVID-19, family, American families, race, climate change, national security, and leadership. All right, so that's just a huge thing, and it's going to be moderated by the Democratic shill, Kristen Welker. We saw her, the half-black with the white father. She's the hack that was so far up Obama's ass that she couldn't see straight. Right? Where the candidates go from there, especially in Trump's case, is the wild card. So I think that in order to enhance the debate rules, the commission has resorted to something familiar to a country operating by video conference: the mute button. but there are questions over how efficient the new guardrails. Trump campaign has suggested the length of time will provide Biden with a chance to talk himself into a corner. Oh, good. I agree with that. I agree with that. Trump, let Biden talk. That's a good strategy. I like that. I really like that. I like that. Trump's campaign has suggested the length of time will provide Biden with a chance to talk himself into a corner. Yeah, give him the rope and let him hang himself. Good point. True or not, past performance suggests Trump's lacks the self-control to stand quietly. That's not true. That's just a statistic. That's just a strategy. You always see Trump in meetings with his hands like this. He's sitting there and he's quiet. He's listening. He's always that's bullshit. So again, the rules. The way I'm reading this is that the commentator, the half-black woman, Welker, will read the question, pick who the question is for. It's for both of them, but who's going to go first? And then that person, the other person's mic is muted, and the candidate then speaks, right? And then the mute buttons are off. Then there's jostling. Then there's open debate. So interesting. It's a different format. Can we guarantee that Trump will play by those rules? No. I think Trump would be smart to shut up and listen to Biden hang himself in that 2 minutes of silence. Oh, a lot can go wrong. If you keep poking him, it's a different style of debate, right? Because Trump is not armed with the facts. Trump is just a close contact boxer. He just keeps trying to knock you off your game. If he knocks you off your game, then everything is silly and it doesn't matter, right? But if there's Trump has to be armed with the facts. I think Biden, if he can remember the facts, he probably is. But anyway, it'd be very interesting. So tonight at 9, I'll tune in for that. So here's the story I wanted to talk about now. And this is fucked up. Listen. I think this is breaking. I've not seen anybody report on this. So this is Obama on the stump. The audio's a little low, but listen.
But the thing is, this is not a reality show. This is reality.
You're gonna hear Barack Obama. Let's look at firstly, let's take a note. Obama, no tie. He's got his laid back. He's got his tan. He's looking good. He's got his salt and pepper hair. He's looking good. He's looking like a young 50-year-old man. He looks like a man who just turned 50, and he's probably just about to turn 60. He's looking good. Obama, you can't take it away from him. He's looking good. He's living a good life. He's got his $40 billion net worth. How much is he worth? How much is Biden worth? How much is? Oh, there he is. The Obamas are worth at least $40 million. Take a look at how they make and spend their money. Oh, look at this, man. They spend more than net worth of $40 million. That's not including, aside from his 6-figure pension he receives as a former president, that's peanuts. So lots of money. Look at the Darling family. Look, they're all very, very wearing very expensive stuff, and look at us. We made it. Right? We made it in America. So anyway, so here he is, Mr. Excellent, Mr. Perfection. Just stomach it for a little while, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see the phoniness too. He's very phony. He's reading from a teleprompter. There's his prompter. There's his classic Obama from the podium. He goes from this one to that one. You see him keep shifting his eyes. Watch.
And the rest of us have had to live with the
right there. He's reading. You see how he's reading?
Consequences of him proving himself incapable of taking
right there is reading
the job seriously.
Right there. You see how he's reading? He's reading. He's doing the Obama face, right? The monkey face. Right there, he's reading again. What am I going to say next? It's just a fucking skit. We got scammed, man. We got ripped off with this guy. This guy was a total phony, man. This guy's a fucking reader.
At least 220,000 Americans have died.
Someone says, "Are those car horns?" Bill West says the car horns in the background. Yes. He's in a parking lot. They never pan the camera to show the audience, but he's in front of cars. It's like a fucking drive-in. I don't know how many cars. Allegedly, he's in Pennsylvania. I don't know how many cars.
More than 100,000 small businesses have closed.
So here's Obama blaming Trump for everything.
By the way, even then, his TV ratings are down. So you know that upsets him. But the thing is, this is not a reality show. This is reality. And the rest of us have had to live with the consequences of him proving himself incapable of taking the job seriously. At least 220,000 Americans have died.
220,000 Americans have died of what? Died of flu-related symptoms? That's not unusual.
More than 100,000 small businesses have closed.
More than 100,000 small businesses have closed. Why? Because of Democratic incompetence in places like New York and California. Shutting down businesses, locking people out of their businesses, driving them into the poorhouse. That's not under... Trump is saying the opposite. Trump's saying open up. So another lie.
Millions of jobs are gone. Our proud reputation around the world is in tatters. Presidents up for re-election usually ask if the country is better off than it was 4 years ago.
He's going to make a colossal lie in a second. Just let's get to it. It's another minute.
I'll tell you one thing. 4 years ago, you'd be tailgating here at the link instead of watching a speech from your cars.
So there's confirmation. He's talking to cars. He's talking to fucking cars. Crazy.
The only people truly better off than they were 4 years ago are the billionaires who got his tax cuts.
Really? Wow, he said that one with a straight face. Almost. All right, so when Barry got into office, he was worth maybe a couple $100,000, right, from his Senate money, his Senate pay, and now he's worth $40 million that we know of. How many secret accounts? How many properties abroad? How much privilege does this guy fucking have? He can do. How much influence does he have? If Biden gets in, Obama is going to be. It's going to go from 40 million to 400 million in influence because he could walk into the White House and say, "Hey, Joe, how you doing?" Right, and influence the president. He can't influence Trump because Trump thinks he's a fucking idiot. Trump, he has no footing with Trump at all. He has no in with Trump. But there he is bashing the billionaire class, which he should. But then what about you, Barry? You're the one who gave them everything. You're the one who rolled out the fucking carpet for them in 2008. Gave them the TARP money, gave them everything they wanted. Gave the banks everything they wanted. You were supposed to break them up. And what did you do? You built them up. You built them up to 3 and 4 and 5 times larger than they are.
Right now, as we speak, Trump won't even extend relief to the millions of families who are having trouble paying the rent or putting food on the table because of this pandemic.
Now, what the fuck did he just say? Trump is preventing people from food on the table?
Got his tax cuts.
So listen again.
Right now, as we speak, Trump won't even extend relief to the millions of families who are having trouble paying the rent.
What? What? Look, there's a bill. It's Nancy Pelosi holding the fucking thing up. Trump is saying sign it. $1.8 trillion stimulus package. So where does Obama... He's just lying now. Now he's just straight out lying. Obama's saying that Trump is holding it up when it's the Democratic Party clearly holding it up. Hold on a second. All right? That was a lie, right? How could you... It's clear as day that the Democratic Party, we just saw in Congress that they're Nancy Pelosi. No, they got to give us what we want. We can't give them what they want. Right? And well, just give the fucking people the $1.8 trillion. So Obama lies again. It's like 3 or 4 already.
Or putting food on the table because of this pandemic. But he's been doing all right by himself. As it turns out, this was just reported in the last 48 hours. We know that he continues to do business with China because he's got a secret Chinese bank account.
Wow. This is breaking news, right? So Obama's on the stump saying that, and you'll see how it leads into the next story, because Joe Biden just got busted dealing with dirty dealings in China, according to Rudy Giuliani. So we'll look at the next story. But here's Barack Obama, former president of the United States, campaigning for Joe Biden, framing Trump as a China stooge. That the only reason Trump is tough on China is because he has a secret bank account in China. That's what he said. That's what he said. How fucking stupid are people to believe this stuff? I don't get it.
Well, because of this pandemic. But he's been doing all right by himself. As it turns out, this was just reported in the last 48 hours. We know that he continues to do business with China because he's got a secret Chinese bank account. How is that possible? How is that possible? A secret Chinese bank account. Listen, can you imagine if I had a secret Chinese bank account?
I gotta say, man, he is good. He is. This is liar in chief. I mean, he says it. He says it with impunity. He says it like what? They're accusing me of rigging the elections in 2016. How ridiculous! Right? Nobody can rig an election. That's so fucking stupid. That's his tone, man, and people buy into that shit. Mr. Excellent, right? And Trump, the orange monster. It's just he's very good at it. You gotta hand it to him. I mean, most people can't see through the phony, but he's if you don't pay attention to details, he's rather believable, you know.
When I was running for re-election, you think Fox News might have been a little concerned about that? They would have called me Beijing Barry. It is not a great idea to have a president who owes a bunch of money to people overseas.
What about a bunch of favors like Hillary Clinton? She's taking the money. It actually goes the opposite way, right? And stay on point. We're talking about China, Barry. Not talking about the whole fucking world. Right, how many favors did the Clinton campaign owe for that $2 billion that they took from the Saudis? They took money from everybody in 2016 to run that election. They took so much money from everybody in exchange for the favors that they were never allowed to deliver on. Now, is Biden going to have to deliver on some of those favors? Who the fuck knows, man? But the point of this clip is that I know it's hard to watch Obama, but just check this shit out. Right? So just today, breaking news this morning, Hunter Biz partner confirms email. Details Joe Biden pushed to make millions from China. So here you have Obama saying Trump is in the pocket of China with secret accounts. But the reality is the actual evidence on the ground, according to the New York Post and Michael Goodwin, Rudy Giuliani, is that there's now a business partner that confirms the email that details Joe Biden pushed to make millions in China. So let's read. Right? So it's a contradiction. It's a big fucking gaffe with Obama. Obama's attacking Trump for China. But really, it's Biden who should be attacked for China. See how they play the game? Wait until Scranton hears about this. Scranton Joe. One of Joe Biden's ways of contrasting himself with President Trump has been to declare the election a battle of Park Avenue values versus Scranton, Pennsylvania values. I'm a Scranton boy. I'm Scranton. He hasn't been there in 72 years. He was a kid. I'm a Scranton boy. Now we learn that Biden has secretly been playing footsie with China. The statement Wednesday night asserting that the former vice president was a willing and eager participant in a family scheme to make millions of dollars partnering with a shady Chinese communist firm is a singular event in a presidential race already overflowing with drama and intrigue. This is an opinion piece, so you're going to get someone's opinion in there. The dynamite assertion, believable because it aligns with earlier information we know to be true. Joe Biden and Joe Biden's brother Jim. So in the statement by Tony Bobulinski, got it there, right? I fucking got it on the third try. Tony Bobulinski, who describes himself as a former partner of Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, and Joe's brother Jim in the China scheme. Bobulinski unloads his bill of accusations in blunt but precise language and detail. He confirms that he was one of the recipients of the May 13th, 2017 email. That email from another partner in the group. All right, so this guy, apparently this guy is credible. He's part of he knows what he's talking about in terms of this interaction with China. Sources have said, right, in the email it refers to someone known as the big guy, right? The email from another partner in the group laid out cash and equity positions and mysteriously included a 10% set aside for, quote, the big guy. The big guy. Sources have said the big guy was Joe Biden. In a matter-of-fact manner, Bobulinski states that the email is genuine and that the former vice president and the man leading in the 2020 race is indeed the big guy. So there he is. He's getting a 10% kickback for his dealings in China. Well, what kind of dealings? Who fucking knows, right? That claim alone rips out the heart of nearly everything Joe Biden has ever said about Hunter's many businesses and Joe's knowledge of them. That's what Joe Biden has said. I don't know. What? Joe Hunter? I don't know. I don't know what he does. I don't know. You're making it up. I don't know. I don't know. How dare you say that? You don't know what you're talking about. That's what Biden says. You don't know what you're talking about. How dare you say that? You weren't there. You don't know what you're talking about when you ask him a question about it. After all, they traveled together to China. This is Joe and son. Joe and son traveled together to China on Air Force Two, where Hunter landed a $1.5 billion commitment from a government-controlled Chinese bank. Then there was Hunter's $83,000 a month gig on the board of Ukraine Energy Company, despite his lack of experience in Ukraine or knowledge of energy. Wow, that's a lot of money, right? Billions, $1.5 billion. How much is Joe Biden? How much is Joe Biden? Joe Biden net worth. How much is that guy worth? How much is Joe Biden worth? How much is Joe Biden worth? Joe Biden net worth. Give it to me. Give me the number. I just want a number. That's all I fucking want is a number. He's only worth $9 million. I don't believe that. I think that's a fucking sham and a ripoff. Right. Because where did all this money go? How is he only worth $9 million? See, that's a sham right there. He's worth a lot of money, man. That guy's got a lot of money. He's got big money. It was no coincidence that the vice president was the Obama administration's point man in both countries. Wherever Joe went, Hunter went. Not to do good, but to do well. Very well. So now, because his role in the China deal has been credibly confirmed, it's beyond dispute that Joe didn't just know what was going on. At least in this case, Joe was a player and had his hand out. But Obama just accused Trump of having a Chinese bank account, and now you want the guy who has Chinese money in his pockets to be the president. That's who you. You see how the hypocrisy, the emptiness of what Obama was talking about. It's just empty nonsense, right? And again, this is not a plug for Trump. It's just a demonstration of how fucking corrupt, how evil, and how disinformed American people are about who these people are and what they do, how they run, how they take the money, how they change their opinions to suit the rich and the powerful. who the rich and powerful really are, how the banks operate, how they, people are fucking totally blind to this shit. What's the answer? I know it's easy to point out the problems, but the answer is in what we're doing. The answer is in talking about it, educating people, and rising up, and not letting it sway you, not letting it affect you in a visceral way, in a sickening way. So, what else can we see about this? At this point, in perhaps the most devastating paragraph of the 689-word statement, Bobulinski writes that Hunter Biden also referred to his father as, quote, my chairman, and frequently referenced asking him for his sign-off or advice on various potential deals. So Joe Biden was the boss. My chairman, Hunter Biden considered his father on these dealings the chairman and frequently referenced him for his sign-off or advice on various potential deals. So go roll the tape back. Joe Biden saying, I don't know what was going on there. I have nothing. My son, he's an angel. And my other son, he died. And he starts to cry. My other son, Bo was a drug addict. He killed himself. Bo, I miss Bo. I miss Bo. And then he goes into that spiel, right? He doesn't want to talk about Hunter, how corrupt he was, and how much money he kicked back to you. Let's talk about Bo. Poor Bo. He's from Scranton. I had fucking Bo in Scranton. Yeah, he's a liar. So anyway, man, what else we got here, man? What else? So this is fucking crazy shit too. Look at this. Rudy Giuliani describes alleged underage material on Hunter Biden's laptop. Oh, I don't know, man. This is fucking nuts, man. This shit is getting bubbling over, man. Craziness. What's up, everybody in the chat, man? Sorry. I'm in the zone here, man. I'm just talking to myself for the last hour. Vinny DiMartini. What's up, Vinny? What's up, my brother from a different mother? Vinny DiMartini on the wrench. Respect the wrench. That's what we're talking about. Come here, say whatever you want. I don't care. Just don't take personal attacks, because it's not funny. It's stupid. It makes you look small. It makes you look shallow when you're talking your own bullshit. When you come here and try to insult the talking head so that you can prop yourself up. It's so tasteless. It's like poor taste. That's poor taste, and that's what we cut you off for. Not for having an opinion that's different from perhaps mine or anybody else in the chat. And but taking personal shots is what's called being a dick. That's when you're being a dick, and that's when you get shut down. So thank you, Vinny DiMartini, for carrying the torch in the chat. JB is here, Jerry Miller, C Dento, and Tyler Paris, Kilento Briganti, Martin Graffita is here. Everybody's here. George's son. Weevil Girl. Good morning, Weevil Girl. Infinite Regress. Axel. Walking Axel. Chris Milk is here. So welcome, everybody. And thanks for hanging in there with me. So Rudy Giuliani describes alleged underage material on Hunter Biden's laptop. Wow. Doesn't that make Rudy Giuliani a pedophile? Because he peeped at child porn? He took a look and he assessed the porn. Let's see. Rudy Giuliani describes what he says are disturbing underage photographs of young girls found on Hunter Biden's laptop, which were turned over to the police in Newcastle County. See, rather than having an October surprise saying that Trump is going to give health care to everybody, right? Let's smear Joe Biden. This is shitty politics. I hate this shit. I hate it. It gives me a bad taste. Leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But this is what they do to each other. They cut each other up rather than lift the country up. Rather than because that's all people really want. They just want to know that everything's going to be okay. They want to know that they could maybe health care in this country, maybe some kind of student loan forgiveness, maybe some kind of universal basic income, so that when I hit a bad spot, I don't have to suffer. You know what I mean? That's all people really want. They don't want to. They want to be lifted out of poverty. Nobody wants to live, like a fucking slave in poverty in the greatest nation in the world. I know somebody's got to do the dirty work. Somebody's got to flip the burgers and pour the coffee. But for the most part, pay them. Right? Pay them a living wage. That's all people are saying. But instead, we got to talk about underage photographs of young girls on Joe Biden's laptop, on Hunter Biden's laptop. Now, that has nothing to do, first of all, if there's young girls on Hunter Biden's laptop, it has nothing to do with Joe Biden. That's not him. That's not Joe Biden. So guilt by association, all right, Rudy, you're reaching. It doesn't look good. You got a son who's a pedophile, but that's not you. It's not you. What is this him still talking? No, he's not even. We don't have the audio. Recall that FBI's top child porn lawyer signed a subpoena used to obtain a copy of Biden's hard drive, which were dropped off at a Delaware computer repair shop by a man believed to be Hunter Biden, who signed a work order for data recovery services following a liquid spill incident. So, laptop recovered because somebody spilt their coffee on the board, and they wanted to retrieve the hard drive. I've been there. I know what that is. I know you go down to the computer store. You give them the computer, and they do a little fucking a little magic on it, and they hook directly to the hard drive, and they pull the contents of the hard drive out, and then you just pay them a fee for the contents of the hard drive. Oh, because the computer's junk. You just want the information. Right. So in a Wednesday episode of Rudy Common Sense Podcast, Giuliani describes some of the disturbing contents allegedly contained on the Biden laptop, which, combined with evidence of Joe's involvement in Hunter's lucrative business endeavors, would give any foreign adversary massive leverage over Biden administration. Well, that's a good point. That is a good point, because if Biden gets elected, Rudy's thinking there is that if Biden gets elected and he has a pedophile son, some sort of adversary is going to have that hanging over Biden's head. We'll exploit your son to no end. We'll frame him. We'll show pictures of him playing patty cake with in the playground, Hunter Biden playing patty cake in the playground. Right. So that is a good point. So let's read what Giuliani has to say. What we found, Rudy Giuliani, what we found were a number of photographs that troubled us greatly. They troubled us greatly because there were photographs of underage girls. The underage girls were dressed in a very provocative way, very little bikinis and poses, and were sexually provocative. All right. That was troubling in and of itself. But then there was one that was straight out and out child pornography. Just straight, as Justice Potter Stewart once described pornography as, you can't define it, but you know it when you see it. Well, you know this when you see it. So the accusation is that there was a photograph of a child that falls into the category of pornography. Well, we're not privy to see it because it's pornography, which is a great cover. No, we can't show it to you. Can't show it to you because it's child pornography. But we've seen it, and you should trust us that it exists. We also knew what our obligations were because Bernie had been a policeman. I don't know who Bernie is. And I had been an assistant attorney general and a mayor. As a public official, had I seen that, I'd have to report it. I'd be a mandatory reporter, as are medical people. When you see child pornography or you see evidence that we also saw in the text messages and emails of an unsafe environment for the children, considerably unsafe environment for children. Again, I will not go into detail as to why. That's for the Delaware police. So one more paragraph and we're done here. Now, you would say, well, this was already with the FBI, but I have no indication, no evidence that the FBI has ever done anything with this or anything with the very serious and obvious overwhelming evidence of numerous crimes having been committed by Joe Biden. So is it reaching? Is Giuliani pulling his, throwing punches here that are not going to land. Does it matter that Joe Biden's son has shady dealings? No, not really. Or he has child pornography on his laptop. It's interesting, but I think what's more interesting is that Obama is blaming Trump for shady. Look, Joe Biden is running for the president of the United States. Right? Obama was the president of the United States. Trump is the president of the United States. When any of those three people are engaging in quid pro quo, we should be alarmed. Not because their son likes to look at little girls in bikinis. It's not as alarming as what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying it's not life threatening like they want us to believe. So in finality, who is actually ahead in the fake polls? This is 538. This is Nate Silva, who got the whole fucking thing wrong the last time. This is the holy grail. Right? Nate Silva is the holy grail of polling to the Democrats. They love him. Oh, Nate Silva said. You know that guy, Nate Silva? What does he look like? I'll show you what he looks like. Nate Silva, it's a little Jewish boy, Nate. Nate Silva. What does Nate Silva look like? So you know what he looks like. And there he is. Oh, that's Nate Silva. You've seen him all over television, right? You see him everywhere. Hello, Nate. Hello, Nate. Hey, Nate. Hey, Nate. I'm not watching a fucking commercial. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. So that's Nate Silva, and has been wrong consistently. So here's his take on it. Right? So Biden 52.2 to Trump 42.2. Now I always wonder where is the rest of the vote, because 42. Now I'm not a very smart person in terms of math, but I know that 52 and 42 don't add up to 100. 52.2 and 42.2 add up to 94.4. 94.4, if I'm correct, right? When you add 52.2% for Biden and 42.2% for Trump, when you add those two numbers up, you get 94.4, right? Where's the other? If it's 94.4, where's the other 5.6%? Right? It's flawed. Right there, it's flawed. Right? So I guess this is his breakdown. The generals, IBD has Biden by 4. No, they just released something yesterday that had Biden by 2. IBD. And IBD is the one, Investors Business Daily is the only one that got it right in 2016. The only fucking poll that got it right. So maybe they got paid off. I don't know. But they got Biden by 5. All right. So the bottom line is that the polls are grossly fudged. The polls are manufactured consent for the steal. And 538 is the holy grail of the Democratic Party. He was historically wrong throughout. So anyway, man. So Mark's Conte reporting. I'm almost officially out of gas. Whew. Wow, what a day. So what do we find out? Tonight is the big debate. I think that's the shit, man. That's going to be great. All right. Last one, 80 million people allegedly watched the last debate. The second debate was canceled because of Biden not willing to show up and face his enemy and calling for a remote debate. And tonight will be the final debate. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, head-to-head, Nashville, Tennessee, with a mute button. It's going to be spectacular, man. I tell you, man. What a time. What a time we live in, man. What a time. So thank you all for joining me. Mark's Conte reporting. Thank you, everybody in the chat. BD Martini on the wrench. Carlito, Bragante, Buddha Girl's here. Buddha Girl. Thank you all for the comments. I got to read the comments. I tend to... John Lennon, again, imagine Camilla acting president. Everybody thinks that's interesting. Do you think that Kamala Harris that's the real plan? Get Kamala Harris in there, Get the black woman a heartbeat away from the presidency, so all the blacks will be happy, and then take out Biden, knock him out. I say Trump is gonna go for the throat. Trump has a workaround. Trump has a workaround for the mute button. He's got a whole routine set up for that mute button. Fuck that mute shit. That mute shit. Put your hands on the mute. Put your hands on the mute. Mute button. Gonna mute. What do you think the mute button looks like? What do you think the mute button looks like? I'm digging it.